What are the benefits of automating business processes? Imagine your business running without you. That's a dream of so many entrepreneurs. Well, how do you do it? How do you know what to automate? Well, there are simple questions that you can ask yourself, and I'm going to go over those. What is one key metric to evaluate the success of your automation efforts? By the end of this video, you will understand the benefits of automation, how it can reduce human error, and how to evaluate which processes are ready. We hear the word automation a lot. So why is automation more than just a buzzword? Why is it important? Well, I think you know the answer. It makes things faster, easier, quicker. But not only that, it actually can give you the time that you need in order to strategize, to expand your business, to do other things that before were almost impossible to do because you didn't have the time or the resources. So think outside the box. Think about all the possibilities. Think about the future, the purpose. But in order to make it an actuality, you actually need to know how to automate and how to make it work. Because you can create more chaos if you don't do it right. So if you want to achieve the time savings, reduce errors, and better scalability, you gotta know how to automate. And in order to automate, you first of all have to define your core processes. And you have to understand how your business runs so then you can identify the places where it can be automated. So let's take an example, your lead intake process. What if you were able to automate it? What if there were points in that process that you do not need to rely on humans anymore, but it can happen automatically without your involvement or the team's involvement? Does that sound like a dream? Well, it can become a reality. But it can only become a reality if you know your process cold, if you actually identify it ahead of time and are able to document it, so then automation will follow. So how do you do it exactly? You first of all have to identify the input and the output of that process, and then identify the steps that need to be taken in order to execute the lead intake. Of course, we have to have also the other components of a process. Who is responsible for it? What are the decision-making points? And what tools are being used? If you actually identify that, you will ensure that your successful process is not going to be lost. But when you're going to add automation to it, you're going to add to it, make it better, and ensure that the results are not being lost. A question that I'm being asked a lot is what to automate, and is it worth it? So like anything else, you have to evaluate the return on investment and use that as a decision whether to automate that process or not. So let's talk about what you are actually saving when you are automating a process. You're saving the cost of labor. So there is direct labor, but there is also the labor of the cost of labor or the cost of management for managing that process. So when you are evaluating a process, you need to see who is actually executing the process, but also who is responsible, who is managing it, who is being held accountable, all the reporting that goes around it. All those things have to be taken into consideration when you make that decision. Sometimes the savings that you're going to accomplish by investing in automation do not offset the cost of labor. So that might be a little bit controversial, but it is true. Sometimes you have to evaluate if hiring a virtual assistant might be more cost effective than actually investing in an expensive automation tool that might not be necessary and might not achieve all the results that you are trying to achieve. Another cost that has to be taken into consideration is, of course, the cost of the technology and the cost of the implementation. If the technology is very complex or complicated and you will need to hire somebody internal or hire a consultant that will always have to be on call in order to fix things or in order to change things or to implement the new version because the technology changes so fast, you have to take it into account to see and evaluate if it actually is worthwhile for you to invest in that technology, Or maybe there are other solutions, simpler solutions, that will give you similar benefits without that cost. So if you take all of that into consideration, that will help you identify the areas that you should invest in automation. As I went over in previous videos, it's very important to know which part of the process you should automate in order to achieve the best results. So if you haven't watched those videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel and watch those so you'll know exactly how to automate your processes. So remember, use automation to leverage your business, to get more out of the business. Make sure that you analyze the cost, you analyze the benefits, and you analyze the results, and then make the decision accordingly. Automation starts with knowing exactly what is being done and how. So now that you understand how to evaluate the benefits of automation, watch the next video so you can learn how to do it. Thank you for watching. I'm Adi, and I'm the founder of Business Success Consulting Group, where we help entrepreneurs grow and scale their businesses through process documentation, implementation, and optimization. Go ahead and watch the rest of the videos on my YouTube channel.